Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelove, and this is Speedplay Netherlands number 23. We left off at a very rare era of complete peace, with both no coalition against us, and also no country out of a truce. So for a very rare amount of time, we actually have complete peace. Now, obviously that isn't something that we can just let occur, so we quickly declare war on a minor power, which calls in Austria. This is great. We had a very long truce with the Austrians. Now we're able to just go ahead and wreck through their country. The Ottomans also joining in, which is incredibly convenient. Now, that does mean that the Austrians both have very little in the way of a standing army. However, it also does mean that we won't be able to occupy them entirely. Luckily, I'm only after these two provinces, which it looks as though we're going to be able to just take right away. So there we go. That is essentially all I ever want from Austria, at least for our direct control. Now we're able to just focus on occupying the state that we had to declare the war on, and we go ahead and just give it to our French client state. And there we go. Now we're going to keep doing that again and again with the other various minor powers that are allied to the countries that we kind of just want to take lands off of. So what we're going to go ahead and do is declare a few short wars, first against Bar, which calls in the Spanish, and quite frankly I'm not too concerned about that. The Spanish may join and maybe even send armies against us. However, all we really have to do is occupy this one province minor, and if they do come and attack us, we'll be able to deal with them relatively straightforward and easily. So with that said and done, we just wait and siege them out, and also declare war on the Papal States, which brings in Milan. Now, the Milanese army unfortunately does win a battle against us, however our client states come in and mop them up. We then move a force over to invade the Papal States proper, and we'll eventually just give the Milanese territories to our Italian client state. The Spanish come and attack. Unfortunately, we lose that battle. We bring reinforcements over, but the Spanish begin to flee. We manage to encircle them, attack, and win the battle. With that all said and done, clearly we do actually have to fight the Spanish, so we send a significant force down into Spain proper to go fight them. We also are able to peace out with the Milanese, taking most of their provinces. There is a significant Spanish army. We do end up accidentally attacking them in the mountains. However, we have so many forces that we are able to just win the battle, although we do take significant losses in the attempt. It isn't exactly an ideal way to go about the invasion, however, it could have gone worse. We could have lost the battle. The Spanish do come again. We get stack wiped, which is terrible, so we go ahead and build 3 new armies, 80,000 men from our manpower and 30,000 from mercenaries. We go ahead and move our forces further into Spain. Now at this point, I do sort of just want to make peace with the Spanish, as quite frankly there isn't anything I really want from them. We don't have enough admin power to actually take provinces from them directly, and quite frankly, I don't want to start a new client state in Spain, as we are already at our diplomatic relations limit from all of the other client states we have. Eventually we may move the true French state into Spain and the Iberian Peninsula in general. We do manage to win a battle against the Spanish. Unfortunately, our navy is not doing well at all, and we do have to build a completely new group of heavy ships. I was not actually anticipating the Spanish having a significant fleet, which admittedly is rather dumb. We do make peace with them, just a white peace, and with that we're able to annex their ally. And it looks as though we do have a small coalition. We go ahead and declare war. Interestingly, Milan was allied but not a member of the coalition, so we can separate peace them and just annex them off entirely into Italy. We do also have to deal with both Burgundy, which is now a 1 province minor, and first of all we are able to peace out with the Papal State. We peace out with Tunis first, and then we just annex them into our French state. Anyway though, so we're at war with Burgundy, as well as Brittany and Poland. We go ahead and send our armies against the Poles, which are really the only significant force in the field. And we'll just march through and hopefully just destroy them and take really the last lands that we're going to end up wanting from the Poles, at least to directly control by the end of the game. Now, realistically, we could just take one province from them, or we could take one province and then the 3 provinces that would form a nice curve for our eastern border. As it stands, we deal with a small revolt and just send our armies against the Polish without really any threat. We manage to switch some forces out so we actually get progress on one of our sieges, and we go ahead and annex Milan entirely. With that done, Italy is very close to being complete, which is fantastic news. We go ahead and begin seeing what we can get as a peace deal. Unfortunately, they won't accept something that annexes them. Admittedly, that is rather understandable. It is, however, very unfortunate. We go fight a battle against the Poles and do very well, and we begin transferring over control of these sieges to our client states. Unfortunately, they will still not accept peace. Now, I was only hoping to get that one province from the Poles. However, since we have had to go significantly further in through this war than I had hoped, we may end up actually just taking 4 provinces from the Poles. I also begin moving forces over towards Aragon so that we can add more territories to our Italian client state. The goal at this point just being to feed them as much as possible in the Italian region. Essentially everything with Italian culture will hopefully be theirs by the end. We do go ahead and declare that war. That brings in Portugal, although they are hopefully very irrelevant, as well as Austria. However, Austria has just not had any luck and has so far been unable to get an army back in the field. At this point, they are a very small country and probably won't ever get back on their feet. Now, I did mention that we'd already taken everything that I'd wanted from Austria directly. We may end up just making a client state out of their carcass. It's a bit morbid, but we have done that with several other states. No real reason for Austria to be unique. We do go ahead and take the remaining lands that we desire from that coalition. It does slow down the progress that we've made annexing our German client state, which is probably that and the Czech client state are probably the only 2 we're actually going to attempt to annex. We go ahead and start shipping forces over to attack the Aragon Islands. We do manage to win a battle, however, since there is a fort, we aren't able to follow up. With that all said and done, we do continue to ship forces over to just make a little bit quicker of progress. We send our fleets to blockade their ports, and it's really just going to be a matter of sieging Aragon until they give up. How long that'll take is kind of up in the air. However, the sieges are going relatively quickly, so it will hopefully not be too much time. Now, ideally, all of these lands will be added to our client state and just sort of not be a problem for us directly. And we are going to be able to annex 3 provinces off of Austria, as well as all of the Italian territories from Aragon, which is essentially all that I want. Really, Aragon in Iberia doesn't matter whatsoever. We do manage to win the siege and then the subsequent engagement, and now we can ship our forces back towards the mainland. We do go ahead and get a peace deal, taking just a layer of provinces off Austria, and we go ahead and get ready to make this peace with Aragon. Unfortunately, they won't accept the peace offer that I have. They do now, and we go ahead and create a new client state in the most expensive territory that we just got from the Austrians. We're going to go ahead and just make a Balkan state, and that really does, it isn't really that much of a Balkan state at the moment, but that does really express the desired outcome of this new Balkan state. I mess up getting the flag that I had wanted originally, however, there we go. It's just going to get the flag of Yugoslavia, and that should hint that we are going to hopefully take over all of the Yugoslav region, and hopefully the rest of the Balkans as well. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to give one of these islands to our Italian client state. In fact, everything outside of mainland Italy I wasn't able to give, so we declare war on the Ottoman Empire to get a direct land connection to those remaining provinces so that we can give them to our Italian client state. Also, this is a great opportunity, and perhaps just a great excuse, to declare war on the Ottomans to feed our Balkan state as well, and we'll end up being able to feed 2 of our client states for the price of 1. Always a good deal. Now, we had fought a coalition war against the Ottomans earlier, and they weren't really that much of a threat. They did have massive armies to the extent that couldn't really be matched anywhere else in the world, and they did attack us just now. However, we brought reinforcements in the nick of time, winning the battle. We did also call in the Russians, not particularly because we need the Russians' help, so much as just because it's nice to have a second front if you can get one. We land a large army and begin sieging Constantinople in what is potentially a bit of a bold move. We also transfer control of those Italian provinces to our Italian client state and just begin moving our armies forward, just generally against the Ottomans, hoping for the best and moving forward more or less in a self-contained manner with most of our armies close enough that they can help one another. The only exception being our sieging force in Constantinople, which coincidentally is under attack. Now, we did quite a lot of damage. Unfortunately, we did lose. We group up 2 of our armies and send them to attack the force in Constantinople, and we do win the subsequent engagement, which is great. We begin sending our forces more scattered, but still hopefully close enough that they'll be able to help one another. There's another force heading over to Constantinople, which may be a significant problem. Luckily, we do reinforce with a general, and then send more forces, and our client states show up as well, but don't actually help. We leave enough of a force to siege them out, and begin seeing what sort of peace deal we can hopefully get. Now, this is going to be quite some time before we are able to make peace with the Ottomans, as they don't appear to be at all ready to negotiate, at least not to the extent that we want to. So we just begin sieging out their provinces. This is something that could have been done with smaller stacks, however, we've taken so many casualties that our large armies are now just small stacks, and it works out pretty fine. The French, their truce with us ends, so they join a coalition. We declare war on them immediately, declaring war on their one province minor ally, who is also in the coalition, and calling them in. Now, the French will probably be a problem, especially while all of our forces are entrenched in the east. We do go ahead and build an extra army as well as a mercenary group. Hopefully that will be able to stem the tide of the French while we occupy the Ottomans and just sort of break their will to fight. Now, is that the best plan? Perhaps not. We do also inadvertently end up in a war against Austria by declaring that war against the French and their allies. So we go ahead and just attack the Austrians, with the intent being to just give all of their connected lands on this side of that one mountain range, the Carpathians. We'll just take all of their provinces if we're able to. Luckily, we are able to. We could take them over entirely, however, I don't want to have that one territory jutting out. And now I see what other deal we may be able to get out of the Ottomans. At any rate, we're going to have to continue this war next time. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.